Good morning, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We've got our whispering voices today because it's very early pre-sunrise and we've got a lot of content to get to. So let's get right into it. This is episode 2, Bachelor in Paradise recap. As you guys know, I take notes, read them back to you. No edits, no jump cuts. Just me, you, and whatever we come up with. So it's going to be a busy month with double episodes, Mondays and Tuesday nights. I'll have a separate recap tomorrow for tonight's episode, but this is week 2, episode 2. We have Victoria Fuller showing up. She is right there showing up with a date card. It says, let's make a splash. She asked to talk to Logan. Shanae was like, oh shoot, I've been copping a feel for old Lolo. And this is why we love Bachelor in Paradise, right? It's a better formula for success because contestants can get jealous. Now, jealousy or envy is one of the 7 deadly sins, but hey, it's nice to know that the person you like is wanted and you need to make your move. There's a catalyst there. So here's Shanae on her intros, which is a perfect replica of this destruction, meme that we all know here. That's might be one of the funniest intros we've ever seen on the show. All right, so then we've got Victoria choosing Justin, no surprises there. Genevieve leaves crying, and it's like, this is day 2, baby. This is a nice day 2 tear. Justin tries to comfort Genevieve, and by the way, of course, the whole episode is going to be Genevieve spiraling out of control. She tweeted going, not me pretending like I dated him for 2 years. Hey, Bachelor in Paradise has a way of speeding things up. So Justin goes on a beautiful date with Victoria. Let's cut ahead here. There's Justin right there. By the way, big shout out to these intros. They did a great job. Logan looks like he just, got off a cruise ship in Amsterdam, doesn't know where he is, teleported to Mexico. So there's Victoria with her date. So Justin goes on this beautiful date with Victoria. Genevieve back at the beach, spiraling out of control, talking to Andrew like, please, can you talk to Justin for me? Andrew's like, Justin is easygoing and easy to talk to. And Genevieve was like, that's why Victoria's going to love him. Meanwhile, Shanae and Kira chat. Shanae showing signs that she can socialize in the wild. Shanae's like a child to me, and I'm like, all right, she, a child with a bad temper, and then they go off to kindergarten. You're like watching from the window, like, oh, Shanae can talk to other people without destructive convos. Yay, Shanae, yay. Shanae coaches Kira not to be forceful. She's like, go in with casual convos. Kira's having a hard time socialize when Shanae has to be like, don't be so abrasive. Casey tells Michael that Kira is a mad woman. Yeah, Casey and Michael are having this conversation on the beach, and I'm so nervous because I'm like, oh boy, I hope they realize and I hope they remember that they've got their microphones on because God forbid they say something. Casey seems like a nice guy. We're not trying to get anybody canceled out there. So Casey tells Michael that Kira is a mad woman. Casey says Kira told him her love language, I'm guessing, is S-ing D. You guys can leave a comment if you want to elaborate what that is, but it seemed like he said that she said her love language is S-ing D. You can, or S-ing C, S-ing C, S-ing C, S-ing C or S-ing D. It was blurred out. I didn't know that was a love language. I didn't know S-ing C or S-ing D was they both mean the same thing, was a love language. I guess it would fall into the acts of service category as far as it's almost like a sub-love language. It's like my love language is gift giving and my sub-love language is getting down there and going to town. You know what I mean? And then, oh boy, cue the kink shame police because Casey goes, oh, she said she had a kink, but come on. I mean, and it's like, hey, there's no problem with kinks. There's no judgment, but it can be a lot. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. You like to do what? You know what I mean? Like, well, I like to start with going bowling on a date, but hey, we can jump to third base. All right. Let me leave a comment. Let me know. I mean, is this, because I wonder if it was said off air, because some people are wondering like, is this her real personality or is she playing around? I mean, and this has nothing, by the way, my judgment of her has nothing to do with her employment as a doctor. It's still pretty interesting it's like, look, if you're into someone, you want to know what their love language is, but you also know deep down that love language has probably been done with other people. And you're like, I understand your love language is S and D, but can we just, I don't know, get a cappuccino first? I don't know about you. I love a good old old D-sesh, but I love a good cappuccino. All right, coffee's kicking in. By the way, isn't it? It's funny when I do these sunrise episodes because you're literally getting me right as I turn the lights on, and but at the start of the episode, I don't know my own name, and by the end, I'm like, we're S&D. It's a love language, as the coffee hits. Okay, meanwhile, Zaddy Michael talks to Sierra about how guarded he is after his wife passed. He talks about how he moved to the other side of his bed when his wife passed. How heartbreaking. I say this all the time about Michael. His ability to talk about his previous relationship. I know some people, the sinister types out there, are like, oh, it's kind of like contrived. He's trying to be likable. It's like, no, he was in love, had a child, and his wife passed away just a few short years ago. And for him to share that he had moved to the other side of the bed because he doesn't want to be where he was because his wife's no longer there, that's heartbreaking and sad. And their conversation ends with kissing, but I thought it was natural. It wasn't like, some traumatic conversation that leads right into a kiss. It was a natural, beautiful conversation. And we've gotten more natural, beautiful conversations from Michael than probably any other contestant combined in the last 2 years. So they smooch. Sierra is gorgeous inside and out, a real gem. I mean, she just seems like a beautiful person. Logan and Shanae hang out at the pool. We've got Logan and Shanae. He goes, what do people do in Ohio? Shanae says camping. Look, my fiance is from outside Cincinnati in northern Kentucky. Let me say, there ain't much to do in that part of the world other than drink a lot of bourbon, go watch some horses run around a track, and put on a fancy hat, okay? Haley has feelings for Logan, so she's a bit jelly. Haley tells Genevieve that because the guys have the roses, they have to put in the effort. Unfortunately, Genevieve goes, I'm not used to that. Welcome to my world, ladies. Okay? Effort, charm, some love languages that are S-ing some C, doing things, I'm just kidding about that. Although do whatever makes you happy, whatever fills up your love well. But that's why I love watching the show, because you get people that, their only dance move is putting on some extra, pressing on some fake eyelashes and staring at a guy at the club. And it's like, the guys have the roses. You're going to have to go out of your comfort zone, just like we learned how to do, and meet us in the middle. The whole group is chatting in the shade. They're all under the palapa thing. And then they just watch Logan and Shanae smooch in the ocean. Afterwards, Haley steals Logan aside. He shows zero interest. You know what I mean? He's like a high yield loan. He shows 2% interest. That's a very specific financial joke. I think it's good. Like high, or no, more like, no, you know what? I messed it up. He shows zero interest. He's like a high yield savings account. 2.3% interest is all he's giving back. Okay. Haley's like, I'm in my shell like a snail. And Logan's like, I think it's a turtle. The shell is a turtle. Yeah. She's like, I'm in my shell like a taco. He's like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm in my shell like an outer parka when you unzip it so you don't have the inner layer. He's like, okay. Haley, he's just not that into you. How about that, Haley? He's just not that into you. Shanae gets a date card. It says it's time to rewrite your love story, and she immediately chooses Logan. Meanwhile, Sierra shows off her missing pinky. Let's go to Sierra's missing pinky here. It's a little, it was nighttime, so it's kind of hard to see this photo. She says she gets 10% off when she gets her nails done, which is a classic joke, just a classic joke. And shout out to our member of the community, Jen, who in the conversation on the live stream last night said that Jen doesn't have a missing pinky, but she was born with 12 fingers and she had 2 of her fingers cut off. And I mean, if you can't hit the like button with those fingers, that's quite the bonus feature. You know what I mean? What do you have? Well, I'm a little smarter. I've got strong arms. What do you have? I've got extra fingers. Okay, all right, we can work with that. Just some pianist, just tickling the old ivories. Logan and Shanae go out dancing, which is a great date. Logan says that all Shanae ever wanted on The Bachelor was to be wanted, so he's helping her rewrite that story. Logan says there's no one else he would rather be with. So good for Logan out there. And Genevieve tells Jill that she's going to go home if Justin comes back and doesn't want her. She says she thought it would be Sally who would steal him, not Victoria. Meanwhile, Lace finds a suitcase marked Sally. So because she has no potential matches, she's become Detective Lace. Sally's storyline is reintroduced. Then the girls open her bag. They find her extensions, a waffle maker, and then Lace finds her Vibey. Hunter goes, I didn't know vibrators were allowed. I would have rearranged my luggage. Yeah, vibrators are allowed. We're gonna, Now Genevieve just like, where can I charge my double A's? No, they don't have double A's. Come on now. Some do. The cheaper ones do, but the nice ones just plug in. Anyway, now Genevieve is really pissed that Sally may arrive, knowing Justin and her canoodled at Stagecoach. Yeah, Sally and Justin have some history. So there's there we are, whipping out the old Gumby, as it were. Wells tells everyone about Sally, which was a very interesting story. You can tell, I can't tell if the story was true or not, but I think it was. But he tells a story about how the producers sent to fetch Sally, and they went on quite a wild ride. Wells and co. reenact the saga. The legend of Sally continues. I tend to believe the reenactment. Listening to the people retell Wells' story. So Wells tells the story to like 5 of the cast members. Then more cast members come on, and then they retell the story. But no one has the patience to tell a good story anymore because they're all Generation Z. So they're just like, what happened? He's like, well, there was a producer in the trunk. Wells is a flight attendant. All of a sudden, and like, what's going on? Meanwhile, Kira stole Sally's vibrator. We've got Kira stealing Sally's vibrator. Justin and Victoria return. Jen is insulted that Justin hasn't tried to talk to her yet. Justin asks Genevieve how she feels. She says, checked out. He's like, you're checked out? She's like, you wanted me to be honest? Let me tell you something. Newsflash, never go full honest. I say this every year. You go 80% honest. Full honesty never works out. 80% honest and save 20% for yourself and for your best friends when you're like, can you believe this person? You can only go full honest with you and your best friends. 80% honest. You're welcome. Genevieve says birthdays are the worst. And it's like, look, I know what she means. Like, oh, birthdays are so tough, but there's plenty of people out there that are having a tougher time. Today, we want to focus on the Diaz family and help them recover after Hurricane Ian. Link in the comment section below. They've got a very modest goal of $5,000. They're trying to raise. Their home is unlivable. They've been displaced. And if it's anything that can just help them buy some extra clothes or have a warm meal, it'll be a little bit to help their recovery and helping our friends in Florida. So the Diaz family are friends of our friends, and we want to help them out today. Link in the comment section. I appreciate all of your support there. All right, Romeo and Jill. Romeo doesn't want to commit on day 2 of a relationship, and I love when the men have the roses, right? No committing, all power. This must have been what it was like before they let women vote. I'm not even kidding. This is why equality is important, because men become dictators without equality. All of a sudden, Romeo is running around trying to, he's like a Donald Trump out there. He's just running around, oh, we made it political, you know what I mean? Megalomaniac Romeo. So Romeo asks Brittany if she likes him, and she kind of gives like an answer that, I don't know, is like playing the game or whatever. He says he doesn't want to devastate Jill. Brittany shuts down Romeo's kiss attempt, says, clear this by Jill first. Then she said she'd rather get hit by a bus than accept his rose. So clearly he misread the room. Jill legit runs away from Romeo. He finally says, I'm going to walk away now after chasing her down the beach. She's like, I'm already back in the States. I've literally passed customs, and he's still running after her. Well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take is the Wayne Gretzky quote we all know. And in this case, he took one shot with Brittany and missed. So he not only misses 100% of the shots you don't take, but so far he's missed 100% of the shots he has taken. Jill shuts him down hard. Rose ceremony is about to happen. Jill calls Romeo insidious, says she expected basic human decency from him, not on this beach. Romeo asked if she would accept his rose. She said yeah, to explore other options. The door is firmly shut. So then Romeo goes up to Haley and then Kira, and next thing you know, he's going to be giving his rose to Jesse Palmer. Anyone? Will someone take this rose off my dang hands? Give the rose to yourself. You know what I mean? That's certainly what Sally was doing when it came to her vibrator. All right, well, we've got more coming your way. Tons to get into. I've got a Nick Viall story coming up next. I have a Caitlin Bristow story, maybe a Susie and Clayton story, and I've also got an Eric sure update on blackface. He's actually been in talks with people, and we're going to get into that story as well. So stick around. We have more coming. And also don't forget to click the link in the description to donate to the Diaz family. Our hearts and prayers are out there for you. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.